think there are probably two major psychological things to think of when you're doing that, right? I think the first one is about how you position the value, and the second one is more about, sort of benchmarks and things. So how you position the value, we've already talked about that a little bit, right? But it's really important to get a price metric that the customers see as being representative of the amount of value that they get. Um, and just maybe to give an example to punctuate that, so that it's not always simple, right? I think a lot of times when people think about usage, they often think about the sort of the underlying base usage unit that they think of that tends to align with their costs, right? Especially in like an AI world, right? So, you think of the number of times you query a system, the amount of times you ping it, like that's how you accrue costs, and therefore that is how usage accrues. That's not necessarily how customers get value, right? Like it might be true that generally, a customer who's using something like 12 times as much as another customer gets more value, but they don't necessarily get 12 times as much value. And it's not necessarily the case that they get value out of every single usage. You think something like ChatGPT, for anybody who's worked with ChatGPT, like the underlying sort of usage metric that you would think of would be basically a query, right? Every time that you ask a question, that's how cost is incurred. But me as the user, I do not get value every single time I do it, because usually I'll ask it a question, I'll get something back. It's not what I wanted, or not quite what I wanted. So I have to refine it, and I have to do sort of several different things to be able to get down to what is the actual output that actually gave me value.